Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to my review of this knife, the Jeo-Tec Model 3. You're at the We All Juggle Knives channel. Welcome one and all. This knife is manufactured in Spain. The blade length is 4 1/2 inches. Here is the knife in hand. Yes, that's me. It's got some jimping on a thumb ramp, true full tang, red liners, white micarta handle scales with some finger grooves. It's got a sharpening choil, extended tang with lanyard hole. Full flat ground. The steel is MV58 stainless steel. Altogether a very attractive knife. Now I wear a large size glove and the handle fits me perfectly. Right? So if you have large hands, you're in business. If you have really large hands, you might want to check out some of the other Jeo-Tec models. They've got some big steel, and we're all steel addicts here, no doubt. And it was a very cold and windy day out there that day. Hope it's not too intrusive, but I want you to feel like you're out there. All right, but I did a lot of stuff with this knife, as you will see upcoming. But first, I just want you to see what we're working with here. It's a mid-sized blade. Oh, and it does come with a sheath, which I will show you in detail later. First, I like to do the action first. So how are you all doing lately? Yeah, we've had a lot of chaos and tumult and change in the USA, at least lately, but I will always be here to distract you with bushcraft and steel, multi-tools. Okay, enough knife porn. Let's do stuff. Starting off making a notch. We're going to do some crosswise batoning, make 2 grooves. You know the drill. Remove the part in between and make a notch. But you know, Jeo-Tec is a brand that I like. I'm pretty familiar with them. You know, years ago, no one had heard of Jeo-Tec. People were like, what is that steel? It's from Spain. But they've gotten a lot more popular in recent years, at least. Several people that I subscribe to have done reviews of Jeo-Tec knives, and I've reviewed 3 of them and more to come, because overall it's a pretty good company. They keep coming out with new models. Like this is a new model, at least it's new to me in 2021. So there's my notch. You see, did very well at the woodwork. Here is some food prep. People want to know, can I use it in my camp kitchen? All right, can I cut stuff up? Can I cut up my lunch? Peeling an apple. Now I did speed up this footage. Now I know what you're thinking. Hey, that looks pretty slow. Are you sure you sped it up? Yeah, I was going very slow because this is a very sharp knife, as I will show you more of the sharpness on it later. But in order to peel the apple and not my finger, I went slow. There was your apple. Here's here's a radish. Yeah, do you guys eat radishes? You know, one of my relatives was like, basically said they hate, when I said I was eating, healthy stuff like this, they said they hate radishes because they're bitter. I was like, you're a troll. Get lost, you troll. Can there be trolls in real life? I don't know. But there's your radish. There you go. Boom. Magic of editing. All right, I sped this footage up because you get the idea, but this is your onion for your cowboy beef stew, or your hobo stew, or your cowboy onion rings, perhaps. The flat grind on this knife makes it actually pretty good for food prep. You know, it's a little bit thicker than your paring knife, but there you go. All right, some meat coming up. Can this slice through meat? You know it can. Check out this big ass freaking duck leg that I got from the farmer's market. Those ducks eat well. All right, those ducks eat well. And I'm just gonna cut this piece off because that's gonna be your a boneless duck thigh. Yeah, a boneless duck thigh. You don't have to go to a fancy restaurant to get the boneless duck thigh. Just come to my house. I got a lot of duck hunters who watch me. You guys know how good that's going to taste. But anyway, that's how cleanly it cut through, as any sharp knife would. But hey, it's a knife review. I want to show it doing stuff. All right, some harder stuff. This is amazing. What you're going to see here is a knife transforming a piece of firewood into thinner pieces of firewood. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm going to do that, but it's not amazing. Just making some kindling and or carving blanks if you choose. So then the blade is 4.5 inches, right? So you know, if you're gonna baton with it, just choose a piece of wood that's a little less thick than the blade is long. Now, regarding batoning, you know, people, if they're gonna spend their money on a knife, they want to know that it can take a little bit of a beating, right, and not break. You know, batoning, oh, it's abusive. Come on, man. Like, those pieces of wood are not overly thick or super tough. You know, it's not the oaken shield from the Hobbit movie. People say everything's abusive these days. Like, I'm waiting for someone to be like, you were bullying that knife. You were cyberbullying a knife. It's like, okay. Look, knives are not a protected subclass, so bully away at your knife. All right, so there, you saw it made kindling. All right, by far not the only way to make kindling, but yeah, you tuned into a knife review, so there you go. All right, and shout out to my bushcraft caveman club right there that I use as a mallet, the Toxic Masculinity Caveman Club. All right, here it is. Here is me drawing the knife down one of those shards of wood. This is in case you want to make a tent stake or whatever kind of shank you need. All right, you see the big old slivers of wood that this is taking off with each movement there. All right, this is pretty good all-around knife, just as like a camp knife. You could use it as a bushcraft knife. It's fairly light. It's not as light or thin as a Mora, right? But it's not a chunky monkey like your bomb-proof survival knives. So what I'm saying is that it's in between. You know, it's in between. All right, finishing off the shank of freedom and light and truth. Yeah, so this MV58 steel, 58 is also the hardness. You know, it's a stainless steel. Checking out the forums, people were comparing it to 440C with a good heat treatment. See, there's your shank. All right, initial sharpness. Before everything, before I did any of that crazy stuff, this is what I did. All right, there you go. So that was right out of the box, and you see that other Jeo-Tec in the background, which I got on the same day. That's coming up. I have to say they did a good job on the edge. All right, what about the sheath? Here is the sheath that it came with. It is a nylon sheath. All right, you see it's got a belt loop there. You see the tie down as well. It's got a retaining strap. It holds it in securely. It's got a button closure on that retaining strap. It also has an insert. You see there, and there's Velcro on the belt loop as well as 2 snap closures. All right, so that's the sheath that you get. It's kind of a bare bones sheath, but that's what you get. All right, that is my fire steel. So we're going to strike the spine of the knife against a fire steel and try to generate some sparks. Just because people want to know, can they do that with their knife? It actually works very well for this task. The spine is pretty sharp. It was a very cold and windy day that day, and I used no extra or special tinder, just whittling shavings. All right, so there you go. The spine is well sharp enough to strike on your fire steel. All right, and that was my 6-inch deluxe fire steel, which I'll include. I always include that in my list of useful supplies, which you can find in the text description box of the video. There's the fire. Yeah, and I did watch it closely and make sure that it was out completely. See, it's still smoldering there because the wind, you don't want it to pick up an ember. All right, here's a group photo with Big Brother over here, the Jeo-Tec 39. This is also a little preview of the next Jeo-Tec that I will review, that model 39. I've seen it reviewed on a number of channels, and that got me very interested in it. The polished micarta handle scales and the liners are freaking breathtaking on this thing. And it basically just shows you like more of what Jeo-Tec is about. They make some good stuff. You might want to check out their other models if you don't need a knife that's the size of the N3. All right, final thoughts on the N3. Well, I like the blade shape. I think it has a pretty conventional yet winning blade shape. When you have a drop point like that and they they make it extra wide, that's so that they can give you a good curve to the belly and still have it be pointed, right? It's a classic configuration, and for a reason, because it's quite useful, especially in camp knives, hunting knives, field knives. All right, the handle scales and the liners on this, they're like collector quality in attractiveness. Like, they don't have to be that pretty, but it's pretty nice that they are. I checked the price on this. It was $60. Not bad considering it's imported from a country that's not China, right? Yeah, $60. Not bad at all. I mean, I have, SEs and tops that are $100, $200, and I like them. But if you don't want to go that high, consider this blade, because it did well, right? And right after this video, I repolished this, right? I show it beat up because I want people to know that this knife has been used and abused a little bit, right? In the testing, I want the marks there, but I did repolish it, and those will mostly come off. But basically, I do recommend this as a general purpose, mid-sized outdoors knife. All right, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you like the channel, please subscribe, and also check out the text description box. The links there do help the channel. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.